The future of Red Bull's driver lineup is looking more uncertain than ever. Despite Sergio Perez's earlier confidence in staying with the team for 2025, that belief seems to be fading fast. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's senior advisor, has dropped some significant hints about the future, raising more questions than answers about Perez's future with the team. The clock is ticking, and it seems we'll be hearing major updates on the Red Bull and Racing Bull's driver situation much sooner than expected. While Perez had been sure of his place in 2025, thanks to his current contract, recent developments have cast doubt on that certainty. Marko's latest comments suggest that Perez's confidence in staying may not be as solid as it once seemed. With Perez's current deal, Red Bull would face a hefty buyout cost if they wanted to release him early. However, Marko's statements hint that Perez might not have as much job security as he thought. In a recent Speed Week column, Helmut Marko revealed more about the team's direction, suggesting that Red Bull needs two strong drivers who can consistently score points from 2025 onwards. This comes at a time when Max Verstappen is dominating the field, and it's clear that the team must focus on building a car that complements his strengths. Marko stated that as long as Red Bull provides Verstappen with a competitive car, his loyalty to the team is secure. However, the big question remains what will happen to Perez. Marko's comments pointed towards the need for high-performing drivers to support Verstappen, and it seems both Nick de Vries and Liam Lawson are being seriously considered for the second seat. Marko's endorsement of both drivers underlines how critical it is for Red Bull to field two top-tier competitors as the team faces tougher competition from other teams like Ferrari, McLaren, and even Mercedes in the coming seasons. One of the key obstacles in Red Bull's decision-making process is the financial aspect of parting ways with Perez. Marko has made it clear that the team is reluctant to pay a hefty buyout fee to release the Mexican driver, especially with the impact it could have on Red Bull's budget cap. This issue was one of the main reasons behind the team's hesitation to make any early decisions about Perez's future. However, it's also clear that Perez has not lived up to expectations this season. Despite driving one of the fastest cars on the grid, he has struggled to match the performance of Verstappen, and his qualifying and race results have been inconsistent. Marko has pointed out that both Lawson and de Vries have shown they can perform at a high level, even when driving cars that are not as competitive as the Red Bull. This raises further doubts about Perez's place in the team moving forward. Helmut Marko didn't hold back when discussing the issues Perez has faced this year. The numbers tell the story. Perez is well behind Verstappen in the points standings, with over 200 points separating them. This has been a source of frustration for the team, as the gap in performance has made it more difficult for Red Bull to maintain its strong position in the Constructors' Championship. One of the main concerns for Red Bull has been the financial damage caused by Perez's poor performances. His car has sustained significant damage this season, costing the team millions in repairs. Despite this, Perez's sponsors, including the influential Carlos Slim, have helped offset some of the costs. If Perez were to leave the team, Red Bull would lose a key source of funding, particularly in Latin America, where Perez has a large fan base. This makes the decision even more complicated, as Red Bull weighs the potential benefits of a change against the financial implications of losing Perez's sponsorship. Perez has publicly acknowledged that he's uncertain about his future with Red Bull despite his contract for 2025. In a recent interview, he mentioned that unless something changes in the coming days, he'll continue to race for the team next year. However, with increasing speculation and pressure from the team's management, his confidence in staying with Red Bull seems to be fading. Both Perez and Marko have publicly disagreed over the reasons behind the team's performance. Marko has stated that while they've given Perez every opportunity to succeed, his results have not been enough to push the team forward. Perez, on the other hand, points to the lack of support and ongoing struggles with the car as factors that have impacted his performances. It's a classic case of a driver at odds with a team that expects more. The situation is made even more difficult by the growing talent pool within Red Bull's own program. Marko has openly praised Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson for their performances, particularly in challenging circumstances. Both drivers have shown they can deliver solid results even when not driving the most competitive cars on the grid. With Red Bull's intense focus on future success, the team is under pressure to make the right decision when it comes to selecting Verstappen's teammate. As the season progresses, the likelihood of Perez being replaced by one of Red Bull's junior drivers grows stronger. Marko has already hinted that both Lawson and Tsunoda are viable candidates. The team is also keeping an eye on other promising talents, including Isaac Hajar, who has shown strong form in Formula 2. With Red Bull having so many talented drivers ready to step up, the pressure is mounting on Perez to prove he can still deliver the results the team expects. While Red Bull is eager to promote their young drivers, the decision is not as simple as just replacing Perez. There's a delicate balance between performance on the track and the financial impact of losing a driver like Perez. His sponsorship deals, particularly with Carlos Slim and his companies, have been crucial in helping Red Bull maintain its financial strength, especially in markets like Latin America. Losing that could have a significant impact, especially if the team is forced to look outside the organization for a replacement. Despite this, Red Bull's focus remains on building a competitive team for the future. The team knows that to stay ahead in Formula 1, they need to consistently deliver strong results across both drivers. With Verstappen already leading the charge, Red Bull cannot afford to let their second seat become a weak link. This makes the upcoming decision on Perez's future even more crucial for the team. With the season nearing its conclusion, Red Bull's decision regarding Perez's future will soon be made. As Marco mentioned, there will be a meeting after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where key shareholders will discuss the team's driver lineup for 2025. This meeting will likely determine whether Perez stays or if a new face joins Verstappen in the team's quest for more titles. The pressure is on not just for Perez but for Red Bull as well. They have to weigh the potential risks of breaking the contract early and the benefits of bringing in a fresh, highly competitive driver. Marco has made it clear that Red Bull is not going to settle for anything less than excellence in both driver positions. With the stakes so high, it's a decision that could shape the team's future for years to come. As the rumors swirl and the speculation grows, one thing is clear: Red Bull is facing a pivotal moment in its driver lineup history. With Verstappen's dominance already established, the team can no longer afford to have a second driver who doesn't consistently score points. The pressure is mounting on Perez to perform at a level that matches the expectations of a top-tier team. In the coming days and weeks, we'll likely get more concrete answers regarding Perez's future. Red Bull's internal discussions will determine whether they stay loyal to the Mexican driver or make the bold decision to bring in a new face alongside Verstappen. Will they stick with Perez, or will Lawson, Tsunoda, or another rising star get their shot? As always, the drama in Formula 1 continues, and Red Bull's decision will have ripple effects throughout the sport. The future of Red Bull's driver lineup is looking more uncertain than ever. Despite Sergio Perez's earlier confidence in staying with the team for 2025, that belief seems to be fading fast. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's senior advisor, has dropped some significant hints about the future, raising more questions than answers about Perez's future with the team. The clock is ticking, and it seems we'll be hearing major updates on the Red Bull and Racing Bull's driver situation much sooner than expected. While Perez had been sure of his place in 2025, thanks to his current contract, recent developments have cast doubt on that certainty. Marco's latest comments suggest that Perez's confidence in staying may not be as solid as it once seemed. With Perez's current deal, Red Bull would face a hefty buyout cost if they wanted to release him early. However, Marco's statements hint that Perez might not have as much job security as he thought.